Hello, Piccolos. It's Victoria, and today I'm going to be teaching you your F major scale, 1 octave, as well as your D natural minor scale, also 1 octave. We're going to focus in on making sure we're using the correct fingerings, using alternate fingerings on the piccolo, and having a model sound. All right? So, before I get into that, I've already mentioned this in the flute video, but if you haven't watched the flute video, I'm just going to go over what's called the circle of fourths and fifths progression. So, we are going to be following this progression because it teaches you the scales as you add a flat or as you add a sharp. We're beginning with the flat keys, which is the circle of fourths, because we call those the band keys. A lot of band music is written in flat keys because band instruments, wind instruments, play easier with flat keys. Whereas orchestral instruments, and if you're a piccolo player and you're playing in an orchestra, you'll be playing a lot of sharp keys. So it just depends on the environment you're in, right? So, the circle of fourths starts at C. Circle of fourths and fifths starts at C because C has no sharps or flats, right? So, as we're following the circle of fourths, we're going to go up by a fourth. So, C, we always start on the letter as being the first of the intervals. So, C, D, E, F, 4. So the next one is F, and that means we're adding a flat. And it's B flat, and the way you can remember what flats to add in what order is B to greatest common factor. That's what I use. So it's B, E, A, D, G, C, F. And for the sharps, it's the same exact thing but backwards. So F, C, G, D, E, A, E, D, D, A, E. You know what I mean. It's hard to say that backwards, but I like to write it out on a piece of paper and go for it backwards. All right? So, that being said, F major, 1 flat. That means that the next time you learn a scale, it'll be F, G, A, B flat. And the reason it's B flat and not B natural is because there's already a B flat in the key signature, so we're going to be using A, B flat. All right, so without further ado, let us begin. Let's just review the fingerings, and I will play you the notes so that you make sure you're using a proper sound and that nothing is leaking and you're using the correct fingering. That way you can diagnose it if it's incorrect. All right? So, F, we want to begin with our big thumb lever back here. 1, 2, 3. All 3 fingers on the top of your left hand, pointer finger and pinky on your right hand, all right? All right, play it with me. Great. So now we go from F to G. So we're just lifting up our pointer finger on our right hand. Here's a G. Great. And then after a G, we're going to go to an A. So we're lifting up our ring finger on our left hand. Here's an A. Play it with me. Great. Now we're going to a B flat. And if you watched the video from last week, I did explain the use of the B flat lever, which you can hit with the side of your finger. I like to hit it with the side of my finger. It is this lever right here, right above the golf club key. You can hear that rattling. You can use that, or if you know how to use your B flat thumb, pressing that, you can keep that B flat thumb down the entire scale. So you can play F, G, A, B, C, so on and so forth, while keeping down that B flat thumb. However, I like to practice my scales using this lever if I can. And in this case, we can. So, I'm using my B flat lever. I have my thumb, pointer on the B flat lever, and then pinky. All right? And the reason we do this is because it sounds better, it plays more in tune, and it attacks more clearly. Regular B flat, you can hear I split it easily, and when I play it with this fingering, it's clearer. So just keep that in mind. Then after B flat, we go to C. So we're lifting up our thumb in the back and finger off of the lever. All right. So C. Great. Now we're going to go to a D. So we are going to put our thumb down on the back. And so we were at a C, so we need to put down our thumb, lift up our pointer, put down our middle and ring fingers, and our pinky is down on the right hand. Here's the D. All right, play it with me. Great. Now, E natural. High notes, I know, they're not scary. We are going to put down our pointer finger on our left hand and lift up our ring finger. So our middle finger stays down, D, E. And then we are putting down 1, 2, pointer finger and middle finger on our right hand. I would like you to keep your pinky up when you're playing a high E, especially on the piccolo. The same goes for the flute, but it helps to play it more in tune, and it prevents you from splitting the note. Play it with me. Great. And then high F. So we're going from E to F, and we need to lift up our middle finger, put down our ring finger on our left hand, and then we are going to lift up our middle finger on our right hand and put down our right pinky. So watch closely. E, F. And make sure you're moving your fingers at the same time. Here's F. Great. Practice that a few times. And then let's review the fingerings going down. So we have F, back to E. So we're putting down our middle finger on our left hand and lifting up our ring finger. And then we are putting down our middle finger on our right hand and lifting up our pinky. Then we go to D. So we need to pick up our pointer finger on our left hand and put down our ring finger on our right hand. And we are lifting both fingers on the right hand and keeping down our pinky. So watch closely. Complicated, I know. E, D. All right? Then we go from D to C, and all we need to do is put down our pointer finger on our left hand and pick up all the other fingers. So that means your thumb, middle finger, and ring finger all go up while your pointer finger goes down. So D, C. And then from C to B flat, we are putting down our thumb and putting down our lever. So C, B flat. And then from B flat, we need to go to A. So we are just putting down our middle finger on our left hand and picking up our finger off of this lever. All right? So B flat, A. And then going down to G, we're just putting down our ring finger on our left hand. And then from G down to F, putting down our pointer finger on our right hand. Awesome. So let me play you the entire scale as an example for what the end goal it should be, and then we're going to break it down together, okay? I'm standing back because the frequency and the microphone don't usually get along. I'm sure you all know this. All right? I will count off, and I would like for you to tap your foot and take in a breath, and I'm going to be breathing after the top note, and that's the only place I'm going to be breathing during the scale. All right, so tap your foot along and listen closely. 1, 2, ready. Awesome. So that's the end goal, of course. But I would like to break this down into ascending and then descending. So that way we can talk about what we need to do to make this sound better. So first, let me just play it ascending for you, and we can talk about it. 1, 1, 2, ready. Awesome. So, we, of course, and I'm sure you know this already, we want to avoid a shrill sound. The piccolo has a very woody sound because my piccolo specifically, yours may or may not be, mine is made of wood. And my flute over here is made of metal. And because of that and the material that it's made of, it's going to sound completely different. And we want to avoid creating a fluty sound on the piccolo. We want to embrace the fact that it's a woody instrument and we have to have a fuzzier quality to our sound, all right? So the key to that is being relaxed. And I know I talked about this last week, but this is just a very common theme that comes up in piccolo playing, comes up in all of my piccolo lessons, being relaxed. It means you want to have an incredibly relaxed embouchure, relaxed body, and you want to have great air support, okay? So keep those things in mind. Now, when you're playing and we're going up the scale, you're going to need incredibly fast air. You're going to have the air spinning. You can actually imagine your air creating a spinning motion while you're playing so that it helps you get to the upper register without sounding tense or shrill, all right? So, how about we try this together and think about remaining relaxed, all right? Let's try this out. I'll count you off on 4, and I want you to breathe in all 4 counts. Be tapping your foot throughout the entire scale. We're stopping after the high F, all right? 1, 2, ready. Great. So, were you relaxed or were you tense? Now, if you're tense, a lot of times, if you're incredibly tense, your lips might start buzzing as you go up higher. Did that happen to you? That means your lips are too tight and there is not enough air, or there's too much air for the tension of your lips, basically. Because if you blow too much through really tense lips, you start buzzing. So if you have too much air pressure and too tense lips, that means basically you need to relax your lips a lot. I like to think of this as kind of molding my lower lip to the piccolo. I don't have a lip plate specifically. I have this little patch here, but this is not a lip plate. I like to mold my lip to this so that it feels incredibly relaxed and that the corners of my lips are neutral. I'm not pulling them back and I'm not pushing them forward, all right? So keep that in mind. If you start buzzing your lips, it just means that your lips are way too tense, all right? So if you would like, pause and go review that half of the scale so that you make sure you get up to the top of the scale without becoming too tense to the point that you're buzzing, or you go back and make sure that your sound is not super shrill. All right? So, whenever you're ready, we'll move on to the second half of the scale. I am going to be starting on the E natural after the high F and then going down to the bottom of the scale. Listen once for an example. 1, 2, ready. Great. So now that you heard that, it's the same premise. I want to make sure I'm relaxed in the upper register so I'm not starting super tense. A lot of times it's easier to start at the top and work your way down because you become more tense often the longer you play. So starting in the upper register ensures that you're kind of relaxed, right? So go back and review that if you need to. But if you're ready, let's play this together. I'll count you in. Take a nice big 4-beat breath while I'm counting in and tap your foot. All right? 1, 2, ready. Great, awesome. So be sure to go back and review. If this is too much for you right now, break it down further. Play it in 3-note chunks. Practice. So on and so forth, so that you practice going between notes. Don't push yourself to the point that you can't learn it, you know? So, let's go back to the beginning, and we're gonna play this whole thing through, okay? I will play once as an example, so you follow along and listen to my sound, and I want you to try to mimic that after, all right? 1, 2, ready? Great. So pause and review if you need to, but whenever you are ready, let's get to it and play the F major scale together, okay? 1, 2, ready? Great. So there you have it, F major scale. Now, if you look at the second half, we have an F major arpeggio. And an arpeggio is essentially, in the simplest form, taking the first, third, and fifth note of the scale, adding the octave on top, and going all the way back down. So if we count it, F, G, A, so F, A, F, G, A, B, C. So that's the fifth note. So F, A, C, and then back to F, all right? So that's what's known as the major triad on F. Triad meaning there are 3 notes and they're stacked up on top of one another, F, A, C. All right? So let me play you what this sounds like. Okay? 1, 2, ready? Great. Would you like to try it with me? How about we try it ascending first? So let's just play F, A, C, F, and stop there, okay? Let's do it. 1, 2, ready? Great. And now let's play C, A, F. Descending. 1, 2, ready? Great. That's awesome. So let's put it all together. I'll count us off, take one big breath, and I want you to play the entire arpeggio in one breath. All right? 1, 2, ready? Great. Now, let us move on to D natural minor. So, now that we've already learned F major, we are going to now learn the relative minor key to F. Okay, so to explain and clarify, D natural minor basically means that we are going to be playing, because it's the relative minor of F, we're going to be playing all of the same notes as the F major scale, but we're going to start on D. And why D, you might ask? Well, the relative minor of a major key always begins on the 6th scale degree. So let's count. Let's hope I can get my fingers right this time. F, G, A, B, C, D. 6th is D. So that means the only note that is going to be altered from the natural is a B flat. All of the other notes are going to be natural, and we are starting on a D. All right? So let's just practice this if we want to start on, if we want to find the relative minor to G, okay? Let's count. G, A, B, C, D, E. And it's E natural because in the key of G we have an E natural, all right? So that's just a cool rule and a rule of thumb, all right? So let's start with the D natural minor scale. Review some fingerings, okay? So we start with our thumb, and we have our middle finger, ring finger, and then 1, 2, 3 on our right hand. Once again, we want to make sure that we have our pointer finger up on our left hand when we're playing our D. Because if we keep our pointer finger down, it makes the sound very fuzzy. Right? Awesome. So there's your D. Make sure you're playing that correctly. Go back and play it with me to make sure the note sounds the same. All right? Next we go to an E. So we put our pointer finger down on our left hand, and we need to lift up our ring finger and put down our pinky on our right hand. So like this, D, E, D, E. Here's an E. Model my sound. Cool. Now we go to an F, so we are lifting up our middle finger on our right hand. So easy one. E, F. Great. Now, from F to G, we want to lift up our pointer finger on our right hand. Here's a G. Try it with me. Okay. Now, from a G, we want to go to an A. So we are just lifting up our ring finger on our left hand. Here is an A. Play it with me. All right. And then from A to B flat, so we are lifting up our middle finger on our left hand and putting down our B flat lever, just like an F major, on our right hand. So A, B flat. Don't split it like I did. Play it with me. Great. Now, from B flat to C, so we are lifting up our pointer finger on our right hand and our thumb on our left hand. C. Play it with me. Cool. Now we go to a D. So we are putting our thumb down, lifting up our pointer finger, and putting down our middle finger and ring finger all on the left hand. Our pinky is still down on the right hand, but all of the action happens on the left hand. So C, D. Okay, here's the D. Play it with me. Great. Now I will just show you the fingerings for descending. Make sure that if you struggled with any of those notes and making them sound exactly the way that I play them, that you go back and double check your fingerings, all right? So we have a D, and then we're going down to a C. So we're putting down our pointer finger and lifting up our thumb, our middle finger, and our ring finger on our right hand. Our pinky on our, on our left hand, and our pinky on our right hand stays down. Then we go to a B flat. We're putting down our thumb on our left hand and putting down our lever on our right hand. B flat. Then we're going to go down to an A. So we're putting down our middle finger on our left hand. And then we're going to a G, putting down our ring finger on our left hand. F, putting down our pointer finger on our right hand. E, putting down our middle finger on our right hand. And then D, lifting up our pointer finger on our left hand, putting down our ring finger on our right hand, and, did I say right hand for this one? I meant left hand. Putting down our ring finger on our right hand, and lifting up our pinky. So E, D, just to show you that. It gets very confusing with the hands, and it's mirrored in this camera. All right, so that's back down to D, the first scale degree of this D minor scale. Let me play you this as an example, and listen closely. Tap your foot along. 1, 2, ready? Great. So now that you've heard it that way, let's break it down. Let's play it ascending first, just like we did last time, all right? Let me play you an example. 1, 2, ready? Great. So now that you heard that, let's review what we talked about with the F major scale. We want to make sure that our bodies are staying relaxed. In fact, I want you to feel more relaxed and more grounded, which means balanced on your feet as you go higher, all right? And relax your lips even more. I dare you. Okay? So, let's go back to the beginning and play it ascending, stopping after the high D together. All right? I will count you in. Make sure you're taking all 4 beats to breathe in and you're tapping your foot, okay? 1, 2, ready? Great. Feel free to go back and review if you need to. And whenever you're ready, you can unpause and come back, and we are going to go over the descending. I'm going to be beginning on the C natural and going down all the way back down to the D that we started at, all right? Listen once for an example. 1, 2, ready? Great. Pause, review if you need to, but whenever you are ready, let's play that together. Starting on the C. Remember, breathe in all 4 breaths and tap your foot. 1, 2, ready? Awesome. So, if you are ready, we will play through this all together. But if you're not quite ready, don't rush yourself. Go back and review the ascending and descending scales, okay? So, let's begin at the beginning. I'll count you in, same premise, breathing all 4 counts and tapping your foot, okay? 1, 2, ready? Great. So there you have it, the D natural minor scale. Okay? Now, let's go over the arpeggio. This is the same premise, it's just going to sound minor or sad. So let's go over the fingerings real quick. Once again, we have 3 different notes in this. So it's D, the first note, E, F, G, A. So D, F, A. I couldn't remember which ones I used. D, F, A. So D, F, A. So just keep that in mind. And they're all natural. And then we are going up to the D and then the octave D and then back A, F, D. Let me play you once what this sounds like. 1, 2, ready? Great. So now that you've heard it, let's break it down. Let's play it ascending. So let's just go over the fingerings. D, F, A, D. So let's do that one more time. Watch slowly. D, F, A, D. Okay? Go back and watch that again if you need to. But let's go ahead and play it when you're ready. 1, 2, ready? Great. Now when we've done that, pause and review if you need to. But if not, whenever you're ready, we're going to go A, F, D. Let me review that. A, F, D. Go back and watch that again if you need to. All right? I'll count you off. 1, 2, ready? Great. Now, let's put it all together. Play the entire arpeggio, ascending and descending. 1, 2, ready? Great. And there you have it. That's your D natural minor scale and arpeggio. So now I went over this in the flute video, but I would like to mention it on here as well. When you start practicing these, which I want you to try to practice these, if you're playing piccolo, play piccolo every day for at least 5 minutes. That's all it takes, is to practice these two scales and arpeggios, and that you're focusing on creating as pretty of a sound as possible. All right. So if you would like to challenge yourself, you're welcome to play these and try to crescendo as you go up, and then decrescendo as you go down. Right? And that's kind of the easy way to do it. But then when you get more advanced and you're more comfortable, I would like you to try to play it louder at the bottom, decrescendo, and really taper down your sound as you go up to the top, and then crescendo down to the bottom again. And we know it's really difficult to play louder in the low register, so it's going to challenge you, all right? So just like I said, I hope that you can practice these every single day, and they're really going to help you focus on your sound and improve, okay? So thank you for joining me. I hope to see you next week.